this is a process that started really about 5 years ago. We started thinking about how we could become involved with FIRST Robotics, and of course had a desire to have LabVIEW be a part of it. It really got serious when we started our partnership with LEGO to develop the Mindstorms NXT-G software. Because once that happened, the first LEGO League teams would be using a version of LabVIEW, the NXT-G. At that point, we started some rather serious discussions with the leadership team at FIRST and Dean Kamen about the value of bringing LabVIEW to the FRC, the high school team, particularly given that the teams at First LEGO League were using this graphical programming software and being able to autonomously program the entire challenge with First LEGO League. Yet when we get to First Robotics competition, the accessibility of programming to the teams was much, much lower. They had some very simplistic, I should say, or old-fashioned text-based tools, which really only a few of the team members were able to program. So by getting LabVIEW into FRC, we felt like we would help first make it more accessible to more students to be able to program it. They could increase the autonomous programming portion of the competition. Of course, we would then be able to get LabVIEW into the hands of a lot of students who otherwise wouldn't be able to use it. So we talked with them literally for 2 or 3 years. And then really through a stroke of fortune for us, FIRST decided that they wanted a brand new platform for the competition season. Last year they made that decision. So shortly after that, they asked us if we had a hardware platform and software with LabVIEW that they could use. Ultimately, we proposed cRIO using LabVIEW as well as C, and that's how we managed to get here today.
Well, I know there's a lot of teams that have their bases and all their systems designed. They go year to year to year with the same base. Well, you're not going to be able to do that this next year, which is good for us. We're actually a second-year team, so you know.
So maybe it levels the playing field.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I think it expands the playing field. I think it lets the teams that can go above and beyond go even farther beyond. I think teams that can use the camera to identify shapes and objects, that can use the sensor on the transmitter, will have an edge. I think that if you want to be competitive, you're going to have to step it up. I'm happy to have a faster computer any day.
We're working with Wind River, and they actually supply the real-time OS inside the cRIO system, on which either LabVIEW or the C tools will run on. So the Wind River C and C++ development tools will be available for the teams. So teams will be able to choose C or LabVIEW when they're programming their FRC controller using cRIO. We actually are working with WPI, who has a library that's commonly used today with the FRC teams. It's a robotics library. We're porting that from the existing controller that it runs on today to cRIO and making that library available to C and C++ users as well as LabVIEW. So we're optimistic that perhaps 25% in the first year of the teams will use LabVIEW as opposed to C. Today they all use C, but as I said, in a quite limited manner.
So currently these kids right here have never used LabVIEW before. What they're doing is they're using LabVIEW itself, this graphical programming language, with the WPI library itself to be able to program the motors using the joystick instantly. They're starting from a blank VI. They're able to go ahead and drop down each of the VIs that they need to be able to program the different motors, and they're doing this all instantly from scratch on their own, brand new LabVIEW users, and we're giving them the chance to really see LabVIEW.
I think next year is going to be really exciting. The new RC is going to be amazing. I love what they're doing with it. I think it opens up a lot of new doors for us. It's going to be good.
So have you seen LabVIEW before?
The LabVIEW? I haven't seen in the interface of LabVIEW before, but I've heard about it.
Yeah. So what do you think by looking at it right now?
I think it looks really cool. I'm not one of our team's programmers, but our programmer seems happy.
This is really cool. It's a lot more intuitive than microchip, which is what we're using right now. Yeah. I have never worked with LabVIEW before. This is my first time. Yeah.
So you think it's going to help next year?
I think so. Yeah. It'll make it a lot easier. It should be a lot of fun.
Are you excited about it?
Very much so.
So WPI is really creating the library that's going to be used to be able to physically control the motors and the different components that they're going to be using in their robot itself. So currently right now, if we take a look, we can see that the VIs specifically that WPI are providing are, for example, driver VIs for the motors, stopping VIs for the motors, being able to do different manipulations, controlling which ones will run when, and being able to also use the joystick to be able to get that input and be able to take that and provide that to the user and be able to provide that to the program to do exactly what they want to do.
They might see this as an opportunity to get involved in it.
Well, we sure hope so. A lot of those LabVIEW users today are mentors for First Lego League, which again uses NXTG, a modified version of LabVIEW. Now they can really step up to the first robotics competition. It's really exciting and really use their LabVIEW skills, their LabVIEW RT skills. Hopefully someday First will let them use their LabVIEW FPGA skills. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity for all the LabVIEW experts out there that are using it in industry to be able to give back, to inspire the kids and use their own knowledge of LabVIEW and cRIO to help these kids build a better robot.
What do you think about it?
Well, I'm here just to learn about it. It looks pretty neat. My initial thought is it looks a little bit heavier than what we're used to, and our students have been programming with ECC, so I'm curious how the LabVIEW programming environment, how quick we'll be able to pick that up. But we're excited to take on the new challenge. So what I'd like to do, since our programs haven't had experience, is to start looking at the LabVIEW that comes with the kit now, and between now and we get more information, just try to get up to speed with the LabVIEW environment. But our team's programming level is still developing, so if the LabVIEW interface is as graphically intuitive as it's advertised to be, then maybe that's the way we'll go.
It's always scary, to get something new. We've gotten into the pattern for the last couple of years that, okay, we'll carry over something and just make a mechanism. Now we got to start from the ground up. First does their homework very well. I'm sure that it's right before we get it. We'll make it work. We've got students who know more about that than I have to know. We'll put it in their hands and let them watch them grow.
This is a standard product that's available today. We're just doing some custom software, some custom images down in the firmware to make it so that the teams can get up and running right away when they turn the system on. They'll still be able to program it, to customize it for their own robot needs and for the autonomous programming that they'll be doing.
My anticipation is what First is going to throw at us is going to be more higher level problems to solve, where the software is going to have to be a little more advanced than the stuff we're doing right now. Right now it's very mechanical, and I don't think that's going to go away, but I do think they're going to make the problem we have to solve smarter, because I keep looking at that camera and the image recognition things I've been shown over and over again, and First has a habit of giving clues. I think that's a very strong clue. We use LabVIEW for test equipment, and we use a similar environment, MATLAB and Simulink, for actual control stuff, which is very, very similar. I think it's a great idea to show these kids as early as possible what it really means to be a programmer in this country now. It's not writing C code that much or anything. It is object-oriented, graphical interfaces, solve the system solution, not how do I write a driver for a motor. I mean, that's not what we're doing. That's not what people are hiring anymore. And I think that is a really, really great idea.
Well, we'll continue working on the exact module list that will be in the cRIO system, as well as the images and the software and the library development for both C and LabVIEW, probably until at least October of this year. And so the teams will probably start getting their units sometime after that. Obviously, we'd like to get these kits to them as soon as we possibly can so that they can learn how to program the new system